Hello and welcome to this video brought to you by www.learningarabicwithangela.com. 100% free Arabic learning resources for everyone. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Find me on Facebook, just search for Learning Arabic with Angela to get daily Arabic learning tips and resources in your Facebook feed. In this grammar lesson, we will learn all about pronouns in Arabic language. Lesson outcomes: you'll be able to identify and recognize different types of pronouns in Arabic, and you'll be able to employ the correct pronouns while speaking or writing Arabic. In Arabic language, there are two types of pronouns. Visible, as the name suggests, is what you can write and see, so visible pronouns. And you've got the implicit or hidden pronouns, that is invisible, so you can understand them from the context, but you do not actually write them. And I'll explain them in a bit. Under visible pronouns, you've got detached and attached pronouns. So as the name suggests, detached is like they form words on their own. So they're separate entities such as ana, anta, nahnu, etc. And they can be in two grammatical cases, either nominative or accusative, such as nominative being the subject of a sentence and accusative being the object of the sentence. And you can start a sentence with these pronouns. This is versus attached pronouns, which you cannot start a sentence with, and they attach themselves to a noun, verb, or particle depending. And they can be in three grammatical cases, so not just the nominative or the accusative case, they can also be in the genitive case. And an extra note for advanced learners: so apart from being able to start a sentence with detached pronouns, you can also put them directly after the particle illa, which means apart from or excluding. So example, حضر الجميع إلا أنت. Everyone came or everyone was present apart from you or excluding you. However, you cannot place an attached pronoun after particle illa because it doesn't make sense. Let's start with detached nominative pronouns: first person, second person, and third person. So for the first person, we've got ana for the singular, I, and nahnu, we, for the plural. So ana and nahnu, ana, nahnu. For the second person, we've got anta, anti, antuma, antum, antunna. So anta is for the singular masculine, anti for the singular feminine, antuma is for the dual, that is you both, antum for the plural, antunna for the plural feminine. Third person, huwa, here, so huwa for the masculine singular, here for the feminine singular. For the dual, we've got huma, and it's the same for the dual masculine and the dual feminine. So it could be two men, so that's huma, or it could be two women, that's also huma. Or it could be a man and a woman, and that would be also huma. For the plural, we've got hum for the masculine. For the feminine, we've got hunna. I'll just point out one thing. Remember, always in Arabic, the masculine overpowers the feminine. So even if we've got 1,000 females and there's one male, that would be antum, for example, instead of antunna. Or that would be hum instead of hunna. So always the male will overpower the female. All it takes is just one male, and then the pronoun that we would use would be the masculine pronoun in that case. Another important point is that in Arabic we do not have verb to be. So we do not say I am. We do not use am or I was, the was, for example. We just say I, student, for example. Ana talib literally means I, student. So there's no verb to be. So the noun in itself and the way it's conjugated includes verb to be. So أنا طالب, I am a student. نحن طلاب, we are students. أنت طالب, you are a student, for the masculine singular. أنت طالبة, you are a student, for the feminine singular. أنتما طالبان, you, that is for the dual, that is you both are students. أنتما طالبان. If it was two females, that would be أنتما طالبتان. So for the dual feminine, أنتما طالبتان. أنتم طلاب for the masculine plural. أنتن طالبات for the feminine plural. For the third person, هو طالب, he is a student. هي طالبة, she is a student. هما طالبان for the dual third person, and that is masculine. So هما طالبان. This is versus the feminine when we say هما طالبتان. هما طالبتان. So we've got two female students. هم طلاب, this is for the plural. هن طالبات, this is for the plural feminine. So once again, أنا طالب, نحن طلاب. أنت طالب, أنت طالبة. أنتما طالبان, أنتما طالبتان. أنتم طلاب, أنتن طالبات. هو طالب, هي طالبة. هما طالبان, هما طالبتان. هم طلاب, هن طالبات. And now we've reached the part about detached accusative pronouns, and as the name suggests, they're always in the accusative case. And they can be translated as follows. إيايا, it is me. إيانا, it is us. إياك, it is you for the masculine. إياكي, it is you for the feminine. إياكما, it is you for the dual, whether masculine or feminine. إياكم, it is you for the plural. إياكن, it is you for the plural feminine. إياه, it is him for the masculine. إياها, it is her for the feminine. إياهما is for the dual, whether masculine or feminine is the same thing. إياهما. And إياهم, it is them for the masculine plural. And إياهن, it is them for the feminine plural. And remember, they are always in the accusative case, being the object of the sentence, and I will provide you with examples. And the first example is from the holy book of the Quran. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. And it means, thee do we worship and thine aid we seek. And over here, both the words إياك means it is you or thee or thine, as mentioned in the translation. إياي كافأ الأستاذ. It is me whom the teacher rewarded. So over here, إياي is a detached pronoun in the accusative case. because it received the verb. So the subject of the verb is al-ustadh and the object who received the verb is me. Hence, إيايا is in the accusative case. It's also similar to saying كافأني الأستاذ. So we can say إيايا كافأ الأستاذ. It is me whom the teacher rewarded. Or alternatively, we can say كافأني الأستاذ. The teacher rewarded me. But in this case, the pronoun is attached. So the ya here is an attached pronoun. And this is different from إيايا, which is a detached pronoun. Both of them are in the accusative case because they're the object of the sentence. However, the first one is detached, that is, it's a word on its own, it's a separate word. And in the second case, it's attached to the verb. And over here, we've got the same sentence, but we're going to use him instead. So instead of me, him. إياه كافأ الأستاذ. It is him whom the teacher rewarded. And we could also say كافأه الأستاذ. Simply, the teacher rewarded him. So in the first sentence, the pronoun is detached and it's in the accusative case because it received the action. And in the second sentence, it is attached and it is also in the accusative case because it is the object of the verb, while the teacher is the subject in both sentences. And now let's discuss attached pronouns in detail. Let's look at the sentence كافأ الأستاذ التلميذ. The teacher rewarded the student. We can also say كافأه الأستاذ. The teacher rewarded him. In this case, the ha equals to him. And the pronoun over here attached to a verb, which is كافأ. كافأه, he rewarded him. In the next sentence, هذا أستاذي. This is my teacher. Ustadh is a noun and the ya is the attached pronoun, which in this case attached to the noun teacher or ustadh, to form a possessive relationship. My teacher, ustadhi. And in this case also there is a genitive construction. So ustadh is the mudaf and the ya is the mudaf ilayh. هذا الكتاب لي. This book is mine, or to be exact, literal translation, for me. So the lam here is a preposition or harf jar, and the ya is the pronoun that refers to me. So for me, li. And we also over here have a genitive construction formed by the particle of jar and the noun, which is al-ism al-majroor. So we've got a pronoun that attaches to a verb, like in كافأه, a pronoun that could attach to a noun, like ustadhi, and a pronoun that could attach to a preposition, like li. Let's study each case by case. So let's look at the pronouns that attach to a verb. There are two kinds of pronouns that usually attach to a verb, and these are subject pronouns and object pronouns. أكلت الطعام. I ate the food. So the ta over here in أكلت represents I. So I is the subject of the sentence. So أنا أكلت الطعام. I ate the food. So it's a subject pronoun. So I'm the doer. So I'm the person who did the action. So in this case, the ta is the subject of the sentence. In the second example, كلمه, he spoke to him. So in this case, the ha is an object pronoun because it's the object of the verb. So him means that person received the action. So he is the object of the verb. So we conclude that any pronoun that attaches to a verb can be either a subject pronoun or an object pronoun, and that depends on the context. We look at the sentence and we can realize whether that pronoun did the verb or received the verb. Is it a subject pronoun or is it an object pronoun? For object pronouns, there is a famous acronym that helps the learner remember all the pronouns that can be in the accusative case, and that is ناهيك, and it represents the na and the ha and its different forms, and the ya and the kaf. So na المفعولين, ha الغائب, يا المتكلم, وكاف الخطاب. And I'll give you examples soon. So كافأه الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded him. كافأنا الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded us. كافأني الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded me. كافأك الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded you when addressing a male, so for the masculine. كافأك الأستاذ, so the teacher rewarded you when addressing a female. كافأهم الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded them, so for the plural. كافأهن الأستاذ, the teacher rewarded them, and that is for the plural feminine. And remember that all these pronouns in ناهيك are always in the accusative case, that is في محل نصب مفعول به. And now we move to the subject pronouns that can attach to a verb, and that is the alif, nun, ta, na, واو and يا. So ألف الاثنين, نون النسوة, تاء الفاعل, نا الفاعلين, واو الجماعة, وياء المخاطبة. So the rule is that any pronoun apart from the ones mentioned in the acronym ناهيك that attaches to a verb is a subject pronoun, such as أكلت الطعام. We look at the verb أكلت. Does the pronoun here come from ناهيك? No. So it's a subject pronoun. And we also look at the context. أكلت, I ate. That means the pronoun is the subject because it did the verb. So I ate, I did the verb. However, there are two pronouns that can be confusing and that are common between the subject and the object pronouns, and that is the na and the ya. So أكلنا الطعام. How will you know if the na over here, which is also in the acronym ناهيك, is a subject or object pronoun? So obviously we ate the food, so أكلنا, that means we ate. So we is the subject because we did the verb. And another point is that na over here is na الفاعلين, so the subject na, because we did the action. However, the other na that comes from the acronym ناهيك is the object na or the accusative na, such as ضربنا, he hit us. So in this case, we receive the action. So we are the object of the verb. So these two nas are different. And now we move on to ya, how to tell the difference between the subject ya and the object ya. So أنتِ تأكلين الطعام, you are eating the food. So it's obvious here that the ya or you is the subject of the sentence because you are doing the verb. So in this case, ya المخاطبة is in the nominative case because it is the subject of the sentence. So it is subject ya and it refers to you in the feminine. So the second person feminine. This is in contrast with ya المتكلم, which is usually the object ya, such as ضربني, he hit me. So in this case, I received the action and the ya over here is an object ya, and it is the ya of the speaker, المتكلم. So it is different. It is the first person. So far we've discussed the types of pronouns that can attach to a verb, and that is the object and the subject pronouns. And we said that the acronym NAHIK represents all the pronouns that are the object pronouns. Now the same pronouns can also attach to nouns and to prepositions. Remember at the beginning we said that pronouns can attach to verbs and they can also attach to nouns and prepositions. So the nahik pronouns, they are the pronouns that attach to the nouns as well and to the prepositions in addition to the verbs. هذا كتابه, this is his book. So over here the ha attached to the noun kitab, forming a genitive construction. So an idafa genitive construction. Kitab is the mudaf and the hu is the pronoun which is the mudaf ilayh. So this is his book. هذا كتابه. So it is the object of a noun in this case. اسمي أحمد. My name is Ahmad. The same thing. Over here we have a genitive idafa construction, and it forms a type of possessive relationship. So ismi, my name, kitabuhu, his book. And the nahik pronouns can also attach themselves to prepositions such as هذا الكتاب لي, this book is mine or for me. So over here we've got the lam, which is حرف الجر, and we've got the ya, which is الاسم المجرور. So we have a genitive construction which is formed by حرف الجر and الاسم المجرور. الكتاب له, the book is his or for him. The same thing. So in both cases the pronoun attached itself to a preposition and formed a genitive construction. Let's review attached possessive pronouns, which always form a genitive construction when they attach to a noun or a particle. And we're going to use the example kitab, which is book. Kitabi, my book. Kitabuna, our book. Kitabuka, your book, for the masculine. Kitabuki, your book, for the feminine. Kitabukuma, your book, for the dual, whether masculine or whether feminine. Kitabukum, your book, for the plural masculine. Kitabukunna, your book, for the plural feminine. Kitabuhu, his book, for the masculine. Kitabuha, her book, for the feminine. Kitabuhuma, their book, for the dual, whether masculine or feminine. كتابهم, their book, for the plural masculine, and كتابهن, their book, for the plural feminine. Over here I've got a table that shows the different cases of the attached personal pronoun. Let's start with أنا. كتبت الدرس, I wrote the lesson. So over here the ta is the subject of the verb or الفاعل, and it is in the nominative case. أكتب الدرس, I write the lesson, or I am writing the lesson. Over here we cannot see any pronoun. However, it is implicit or hidden, so it is deduced from the context, and we'll come to that later. رآني, he saw me. رآني. Over here, the pronoun is the object of the verb, so مفعول به, and it is in the accusative case. ابتسم لي. Over here, the pronoun is the object of a preposition, so we've got حرف الجر and we've got الاسم المجرور, so the lam plus the ya. And we've got هذا كتابي, this is my book, where the pronoun attached to a noun, so it's the object of a noun and it forms an إضافة construction, so another genitive construction. Let's move on to نحن, which is we. كتبنا الدرس, we wrote the lesson. So over here the na is the subject of the verb in the nominative case. نكتب الدرس, we write the lesson. Over here the pronoun is implicit, so we cannot see it, but we can deduce it from the context. نكتب الدرس. رآنا, he saw us. So in this case, the pronoun that attached to the verb is the object of that verb in the accusative case. ابتسم لنا, he smiled to us. Over here it is a genitive construction consisting of حرف الجر, the lam, and الاسم المجرور, which is in this case the pronoun. And then we've got هذا كتابنا, this is our book, a genitive إضافة construction where the pronoun attached to a noun. And we've reached the second person pronouns, and we start with أنت and أنتِ. أنت كتبت الدرس, you wrote the lesson. So the ta here is the subject of the verb, hence the pronoun is in the nominative case. However, when we look at تكتب الدرس, you write the lesson, we cannot see the pronoun anywhere, but it is hidden and it is implied from the meaning. So the pronoun is what we call implicit. And اكتب الدرس, write the lesson, the same case, the pronoun is hidden. We move to the accusative case. رآك, he saw you. So over here the pronoun received the action and is the object of the verb. ابتسم لك, so we have حرف الجر, which is the lam, and we have the pronoun which is attached to the particle and which forms a genitive construction in this case. And in the next case, also the genitive case, هذا كتابك, this is your book, so we have a genitive possessive construction. So the pronoun attached itself to a noun in this case. And then we move to أنتِ. أنتِ كتبت الدرس, you wrote the lesson. We can clearly see the pronoun and it's the subject of the verb, so it's in the nominative case. And تكتبين الدرس, you write the lesson or you're writing the lesson. We can see the ya here and it is the pronoun which is in the nominative case. And اكتب الدرس, write the lesson. Also here we can clearly see the pronoun and it is in the nominative case. رآكِ, he saw you. So over here the pronoun received the action and it is in the accusative case, being the object of the verb. ابتسم لك, over here the pronoun attached to the particle of jar, forming a genitive construction and being in a genitive case. هذا كتابك, this is your book. Again, here we have a genitive possessive construction where the pronoun attached to a noun, which is book or kitab. Moving on to أنتما, أنتم, and أنتن, and it's the same process. أنتما كتبتما الدرس, that means you wrote the lesson, and over here the attached pronoun is in the nominative case, being the subject of the verb. تكتبان الدرس, you write or you are writing the lesson, the same thing, and اكتبا الدرس in the imperative. In all these cases the pronoun is a subject pronoun. However, when we say رآكما, he saw you, the pronoun over here is in the accusative case, being the object of the verb. And then we've got in the genitive case ابتسم لكما, he smiled to you, and هذا كتابكما, this is your book. So the pronouns over here have formed a genitive construction. The first one attached to the preposition, and the second one attached to the noun كتاب. أنتم, أنتم كتبتم الدرس, you wrote the lesson. أنتم تكتبون الدرس, you're writing the lesson. And اكتبوا الدرس, write the lesson. In all these cases the pronoun is in the nominative case, being the subject of the verb. رآكم, he saw you. Over here the pronoun is the object, so it's in the accusative case. ابتسم لكم وهذا كتابكم, the pronouns over here are in the genitive case. أنتن, which is used for the feminine plural. كتبتن الدرس, you wrote the lesson. تكتبن الدرس, and اكتبن الدرس. So in the past, present, and imperative, and in all these cases the attached pronoun is in the nominative case, being the subject of the verb. But when we say رآكن, he saw you, hence the pronoun is in the accusative case, being the object of the verb. ابتسم لكن, he smiled to you. The pronoun here is in the genitive case, and هذا كتابكن, this is your book. The pronoun is also in the genitive case. And moving on to the third person, هو and هي. كتب الدرس, over here we cannot see the pronoun, it's implicit, but we can say كتب هو الدرس. And كتبت الدرس, she wrote the lesson, the same thing. We cannot see the pronoun anywhere, it's hidden, and we'll discuss that later. كتبت الدرس, note that the ta here is not a pronoun. It is simply a marker of femininity. So it is the ta of the feminine, and it's usually marked with sukun at the end, but we put kasra here to prevent two sukuns meeting, because the next word starts with L and it starts with sukun. So in the accusative case, رآه, he saw him. رآها, he saw her. In the genitive case, ابتسم له, ابتسم لها, and هذا كتابه, هذا كتابها. So in the genitive case we've got the who and the ha. So the who for the masculine and the ha for the feminine, and they attach to a particle. And in the other example with the book, they attach to the noun kitab, forming an idafa genitive construction. Moving on to the dual, and we've got huma for the masculine dual and huma for the feminine dual. كتب الدرس, they wrote the lesson. يكتبان الدرس, they write the lesson. So over here the alif is in the nominative case, and the same thing for the dual feminine. كتبتا الدرس, تكتبان الدرس. So over here the pronouns are in the nominative because they're the subject of the verb. In the accusative case, رآهما, he saw them, the two of them. And the same for the feminine, رآهما. And ابتسم لهما and هذا كتابهما, the same for both the masculine and the feminine. So you can see the pronouns are in the genitive case when they are attached to a particle or a noun. And we reach to the third person, they. So hum for the masculine plural and hunna for the feminine plural. كتبوا الدرس, so they wrote the lesson. So the waw al-jama'a is the subject of the verb in the nominative case. يكتبون الدرس, they write the lesson, the same thing. كتبنا الدرس and يكتبن الدرس, they wrote and they write. So the pronouns in all these examples are in the nominative case, being the subject of the verb. In the accusative case, we say رآهم, he saw them, for the masculine plural, and رآهن, he saw them, for the feminine plural. And the pronouns over here are in the accusative case, being the objects of the verb, having received the verb. And in the genitive cases, when they attach to a particle, ابتسم لهم and ابتسم لهن. And when it attaches to a noun, هذا كتابهم and هذا كتابهن. And we finally reach the hidden or implicit pronouns, and as mentioned before, you cannot see those pronouns and they're not written anywhere, but they are deduced from the meaning and from the way the verb is conjugated. So let's look at the examples. أكتب الدرس, that means أنا أكتب الدرس. And نكتب الدرس, that means نحن نكتب الدرس. And تكتب الدرس, that means أنت تكتب الدرس. And it also could mean هي تكتب الدرس, so it depends on the meaning. So you will decide according to the meaning and the context. But when we say اكتب الدرس, that means you write the lesson. Because we know for هي it would be اكتبي with the ya. And كتب الدرس, that means هو كتب الدرس. And كتبت الدرس, that means هي كتبت الدرس. So in all those examples, we did not see the pronoun, but we deduced it from the meaning. So the pronoun is hidden or implicit. I've circled the pronouns here in red. So all these pronouns are hidden. They're not seen or written anywhere, and we call this type of pronoun الضمير المستتر, the hidden or the invisible pronoun. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified of any new videos. Again, find me on Facebook. If you haven't already, just search for Learning Arabic with Angela. Visit the blog www.learningarabicwithangela.com to get free, unlimited downloads and resources in Arabic learning. Thank you, and until we meet again in the next video.